You know, you're not going to absolutely love every single day. Some days, you're going to want to take a swan dive into a wood chipper. You're not going to be proud of every single day that you exist, every single day that you're training. Things aren't going to go the way that you want them to. But you're not defined by those days where you feel on top of the world. You're not going to be defined by the days where you're just slugging it through, making some progress. You're going to end up being defined by those low days, those days where you feel like garbage, those days where you don't want to wake up, where you don't want to go and do the things, where you want to just skip out on things. Those are the most important days because those are the days that define your character. You need a strength of character in order to progress in anything. Let's say you got a pretty heavy squat day coming up, but life around you is crumbling. You don't feel good. You didn't sleep well. Are you going to skip that squat day or are you going to sack up and do it? You see, the days where you feel on top of the world are important, but they're not the most important days. The most important days are the days where you don't feel on top of the world, where you feel like the world is on top of you. You see, you only have one life to live. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, if you're not going out there and having a net positive result on your quality of life, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, if you are sacrificing too much of your selfish motives, you give up on your social life, you give up on your home life, you give up on your work life, you give up on your health, your well-being for the sake of something that's not going to pay out, that you don't like doing, that you don't feel good doing. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Because, see, in order to get to the top, you have to be positive. You have to be able to slug through those extremely deep trenches, those extremely deep lows, and still come out positive. You have to recognize when you're making progress and when you're regressing. And even when you're regressing, when you enjoy what you do, you come out with a net positive in your mentality, in your mindset. If you're constantly losing, but you still love what you do, you're going to end up winning eventually. Because the love for whatever you do, the love for the sport, is what's going to end up fueling you when you don't feel motivated. Because motivation's a fickle hoe. Motivation comes and goes when it feels like it. You're not going to be motivated every single day that you're out there. There's the days when you're not motivated, when you have to rely on some other means to get yourself to where you want to go, where you want to develop your goals, where you want to develop yourself, where you want to progress, but you know that nothing you do in that day is going to progress you. In fact, you're going to be regressing some days. The love for the sport's what's going to be bringing you to the gym. It's going to be what brings you when you feel like garbage, when you're training sick, when you're training demotivated. The love for the sport is what keeps you going. If you don't love what you do, change what you're doing. You only have one life to live. Why waste it doing something that you don't like to do? Why waste it doing menial labor that you can't fathom continuing, where you don't see yourself doing this for the rest of your life? See, the Constitution states that you have the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And everyone just assumes that the pursuit of happiness is that you have the unalienable right to be happy. That's not true. You see, the pursuit of happiness means that you have the unalienable right to pursue your happiness. You can't put someone else's happiness out of the picture to pursue your own happiness at a base level, but you can do whatever it takes to be happy. Happiness is one of the most important things you can strive for. Happiness is a stronger feeling than hope. Hope is this mystical, magical feeling that you get, the fairy tales and the stories, the epic tales. They always tell of hope. No, that's not what raises cities. Passion and happiness is what progresses towards the future. You think people wanted to make skyscrapers because they hoped that they could touch the sky? No, they got excited. They decided, you know what? The sky is too clear. I want to touch it with a building. I'm going to build up a building in order to touch the skies. We're going to scrape the skies with a building. They got excited. Their passion for architecture pushed them to develop, to engineer buildings able to withstand the high winds of the high altitudes. So your passion for whatever you're doing, whether it be powerlifting, whether it be painting, whether it be influencing, your passion has to be at the forefront. If you're doing things for the sake of making money, you're putting the carriage in front of the horse, because if you do things for money, your passion isn't there. Your passion is for the money, not for the product. If you enter powerlifting thinking you're gonna get popular, you're gonna get noticed, you're gonna get sponsors, your life is gonna get taken care of, that's not gonna happen. It just simply doesn't happen that way, because you're putting money, you're putting a idea that you want to get rich, you want to get famous in front of, you want to get strong, you want to be powerful. You're putting the cart in front of the horse. You haven't even done your first meet yet, and you're already getting these visions of grandeur. You know how much money you get for squatting 1,000 pounds? $0. You know how much money you get for benching 600 pounds? $0. There's no money in the sport of powerlifting. The only reason to be powerlifting is for the love of the sport. The love of the sport is what's going to bring you to the gym. It's what is going to keep you in the gym. It's what's going to bring you to the top. If you don't have passion for the sport, if you're not happy doing it, find a different sport. You only have one life to live. Might as well live it happy.